Hi everyone, my name's Abul. Welcome back to CRTV, powered by City Realtor. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Today I want to talk to you about rogue agents. I decided to do this video because a lettings agent friend of mine told me about an incident that happened recently at one of his managed properties. And it brought back memories of a time it happened to one of our managed properties. I thought this kind of thing doesn't really happen anymore until he alerted me about it. Anyway, let's get on with the video. This will probably be especially good for people new to the UK, but it's also very useful for anyone to know, as it can happen to anyone. Let me start off by telling you a little story about my experience with a rogue agent. Luckily, it wasn't me that got hit, but unfortunately it was one of the properties that we were managing. The property was for sale at the time through a different company, and the tenancy had recently ended, so the property was empty. I remember it being close to the end of the year, close to Christmas. One day a neighbor called our office and said to us that the front yard was full of people and that they didn't look happy. So I decided to go and take a look, and upon arriving at the front garden, I was greeted by maybe 30 people, made up of roughly 6 or 7 groups. I walked up to the front door and tried to open it and realized that the lock had been changed. I turned around and started asking people who they are and what they were doing there. It turns out they were all tenants for the same property. Upon more questioning, I realized that they all had paid someone a holding deposit, and in some cases the whole move-in monies, and were told to meet at this property at a certain time to pick up the keys. It turns out that they were all shown the property from the inside, so someone had the key. And also, they had seen the advert on Gumtree. For those of you who don't know, Gumtree is very easy to post fake adverts on. What I mean by this is that you don't have to verify who you are. I had to break it to them all that this property was not for rent. It is owned by my client and he is only looking to sell, and it is to be left empty until then. I think some of them had already figured this out before I turned up, but I just confirmed that they had just been swindled, which of course caused a lot of distress. I had to ask them to leave and go to the police to file a report. Before they left, I did ask them what the advertised rent was, and it was roughly 40% less than the market average. This is the first lesson. If something looks too good to be true, then it probably is, especially on a site like Gumtree. The main reason people fall for this is because they think they found the deal of the century, and in desperation, they fall for the act. Now let's delve into some of the ways you can protect yourself from being swindled by these people. Firstly, if you haven't met them at an office or a shop front, it's a good idea to try and do some background on the agent. Ask for a card and check the email address. Let's say hypothetically the agent is called John and the company is called Let's Move. If the email reads john@letsmove.co.uk, it's probably more legit than if it was letsmove@gmail.com. The reason for this is that it's far more work to buy and register a domain than it is to get a Gmail account. Next, check the website. Rogue agents tend not to go through the trouble of making their own website. Check the number on the website, call it, and ask if John works there. You can also check company's house to see if the company is registered and whether they are still operating or not. Next, check their social media. It's rare to see a company not have a social media presence at all. Now let's talk about the advert. Where did you see the property? If it was on Rightmove or Zoopla, they have an onboarding system that is not that easy to pass if you're a rogue agent with no real company. However, if the advert was on Gumtree, like I said before, it is much more easier to fake an account. Lastly, don't pay cash. Rogue agents will try and convince you to pay cash and make an excuse like the company account is down or something like that, or that their office is really far. Cash has no trail, so you can't even prove to the police that they took it from you. Also, if you are sending it to an account, make sure it's a company account and the company is trading as it shows on Company House. Now don't get me wrong, if you've done all your other checks and you're fully confident now, then sometimes it's okay to pay cash. But on the whole, I wouldn't advise it if you've never heard of the company and you haven't done your research. This brings us to the end of the video, and hopefully you are now equipped with the knowledge to see a rogue agent coming a mile off. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.